What is going on? I'm zmot. We are on the dev build. I have spent way more hours than I should have doing deep dives into the Engraver, and if you find this helpful at all, throw code zmot in your shop. You can tell that we are on the dev build because it does not work on the dev build, also because of the fact that I have 7 victory points and all of these defenses, and also the fact that I have 1,000,000 gems, plus the fact that I just told you. But we are going to reveal the very first tier list of the Engraver. Now, this is not where I started out. I started out with armor, for example, way down the bottom. It surprised the crap out of me. Adrenaline, I started with that down the bottom, and I bumped it up because adrenaline is going to be very useful for a very specific list of players, and I wanted to touch on that briefly. This list right here is not the list. There is no the list. As this goes on, as we get more and more layers of this onion peeled, things are going to move up, things are going to move down. So if you're watching this in 2025, 2026, there's probably a newer video. Now, triage, for example, we're going to start at the very top. Triage, if you do not have instant training, triage is going to be amazing. If you do have instant training, triage is probably going to fall completely off your list, unless you're a leaderboard pusher, and then the savings in gold is going to reward you a little bit. And while we're on the topic of triage, triage is broken a little bit. So when you take 2 Scorchers and 3 tanks into battle, for example, that's 52 housing spaces. Top left tile for those of you playing along at home. When you lose your troops, you should lose 20, or you should get 20.8 landing crafts slots back. You end up getting 30 landing crafts spots back. That top right hand, what's it called? Cell now. So something is not right. I figured maybe it was a numbers thing. We're going to go down to the middle left there. Scorchers, we used 2 Scorchers and 3 tanks for 5. Getting 40% back should be 2, but we end up getting 3 back. When it goes to riflemen, you lose 30, you get back 12, it's 40% exactly. So there seems to be some math issues with the Scorchers and tanks. You're getting back more than you should. Love to hear you guys' feedback on that once you get your hands on this, but for right now, it seems like the math is broken or I'm just missing something. It's not the number of housing spaces, it's not the number of buildings. I don't frankly know what it is. It's also not landing crafts. I'm only using 2 landing crafts to test, so weirdness there. But again, that triage, if you're pushing the leaderboard and you have instant training, it's going to be useful. But otherwise, if you have instant training, you're not going to give a crap about getting troops back. Also, adrenaline. Adrenaline is very much geared towards operation attack players. If you are an operation attack player who's using Zookas, for example, 20% extra damage, essentially, attack speed, damage, same sort of thing. It's going to be a big deal. So we're going to start dead end here. I am hopefully going to use bullet depending on what we get. And just to show you that you don't need any sort of difference or change in your strategies if you're used to smoking Zookas with that 20% speed. And some of you are looking at me going, Zed, when we get the Zooka tribe boosts, you can't boost them too much because then bullet doesn't move at the right speed. You have to change your attacks a little bit. Because it is movement speed, it also means that it is brick speed. And so I have 0 troop damage statues. I have 0 troop health statues, and that's for a very good reason, in that it helps me not have to do extra math. Trying to figure out the percentages and making sure things are happening. Doing 1 math is way easier than doing 3 math. And that's the first thing you should learn about math, I suppose, is that 1 is easier than 3. So we're going to jump in, do Waterloo without even scouting, hoping that we can get back there. So we need 1 shock, 2 shocks, 3 shocks. I am not going to spend a heck of a lot of time going over this attack. I'm going to rush it. I'm probably going to screw it up as a result. But the important part here is not the fact that zmot can do operation attacks once in a while. It's more the fact that our troops are moving. Yes, they're moving quickly, and yes, they are going to do slightly more damage over the same amount of time, but smoking them is not a big deal. We still have the delay, not super duper concerned with this walk at all, and I kind of doubt this is going to go down, because again, this is dead end. It's not milk run or something like that. But just the amount of damage we have is probably not going to be enough to get this down with 0 statues. And you probably have never seen an operation attack with 0 statues. I can't say I've ever done one, but at least we're going to have enough GBE for 4 shocks, and we're going to be far enough from the core that you can see that, oh, look at that, they're going to spread out a little bit. Isn't that just perfect? So 1, 2, and 3 down there. Let's throw one more over there just because. Getting the battle orders out, and now we're getting battle orders on top of extra speed boost, and I'm very curious if they're spreading differently with this adrenaline involved or not. Feels like they shouldn't have gone as wide as they did. So interesting, worth taking a look at. But I'm leaving that operation attack in there. It was like a C+ at best, but maybe something out of that will be interesting. And that's why I've got adrenaline up there at the A tier. Some players out there, many players on Discord or Telegram, they don't do anything but operation attacks. And so adrenaline is ranked up a little bit just for you guys. And then we're going to get into interference. And interference is down over here. And that is going to slow down enemy defenses by 15%. Now, I have no idea what that means. Yes, they're going to be a little bit slower. And where that it's going to be super duper useful is right there on the Mega Crab. Right there on things like Dr. T and War Factory and clearing your map. So if you do any of those things, as you can tell that I don't, interference is going to be fairly useful to you. And that one will likely come down into rank B would be my best guess, but I figured I'd leave it there for the second. Better to move them down than move them up to start with, I figured. And then Sabotage, same thing, decrease enemy defensive statues effectiveness by 35%. This is one more that could be very, very good for operation attacks, but let's be honest, Zuka's against 300% building damage rockets versus 265% building damage rockets, and that's not how the math works, I don't think, but you get the idea. Sabotage itself, not going to be super great, but again, for the Mega Crab, that is going to get players a ton of extra stages once they level this thing up. And that should be very, very clear. This is when they are maxed, and it's going to take a long, long time to get these maxed. Now, one more thing I need to touch on while I'm here. A couple people commented on my first YouTube video and said, what a waste of powder. Screw Supercell. I'm not spending powder on them. Well, you haven't really thought this through so much. This is 7 powder for a 20% boost. Forever. Like forever and ever until you deactivate it. Sure, by all means, you're gonna leave it on, but to not do it is kind of crazy, especially those players who have like 4,000 powder and they're just sitting on it like a dragon on their gold. Yes, I know you do have to spend shards to get them upgraded, but they're going to save you powder in the long run. They're going to save you resources in the long run. They're going to make your attacks better in the long run. Or you could just ignore it. Either way, doesn't matter to me, but just wanted to get that out there, that there are some benefits to boosting it because there's no timers on this thing. They just work forever, or until Supercell changes something, or until we get more information and at some point they expire. As of right now, nothing expires. They last forever and ever and ever. Now, armor, rank B, armor. That one surprised the crap out of me. I need to show you this. This is super ridiculous. And when I read this, I thought nothing of it. Looking at the armor, it says decreases the damage per shot of enemy defenses by 100. Now, if we look at Bullet, let's go over here and look at Bullet. What does his ability do? Let's look over here. Pain tolerance. When the hero is hit, he ignores all damage that exceeds the damage limit. So anything over 900, he just disappears with him. But it's not the same. So I'm going to show you something here. We are going to go like this. We are going to go over here and scout code zmot. Great guy. I noticed that if we look at the rocket launchers, they're level 17. Damage per second is 89. Now, look at that. Minus 88. Yes, that is exactly what blew my mind. So if we go back here and look at these rocket launchers, notice the damage per second, or damage per shot, 109.9. So we are getting rid of 100 of that damage. And when I did my first tests, it absolutely blew my mind. So we are going to throw a barrage here. I'm going to let's send 3 boats of Zookas over here, hoping that those mines go away. And then we are just going to flare back here. And I just had another thought. I wonder if this actually matters with mines as well. Because if it does matter with mines, then that's going to be even more ridiculous. This replay right here is worth its weight in gold. This is like all that Armor has to do is put this on its resume and you're all in. So Armor might not be ranked high enough, but I don't know exactly how OP this is going to be. Like against PvP, watch this. This person obviously doesn't have any blue statues. We're just going to flare over here. And look at this. Look at our Zookas. They are getting hit by rocket launchers, and they don't give a crap. Absolutely just wandering around, getting hit by things, not caring whatsoever. There is 4 rocket launchers shooting at our Zookas, and absolutely nothing happening. So we can just parade back and forth across with these rocket launchers. Don't care whatsoever. Now, obviously, when we get close to things like boom cannons and cannons and sniper towers even, might be more of an issue. Let's just retreat and just see if we can't just walk through here. Like, just retreating right through a flamethrower, and look at our troops' health. Like, nothing is doing anything to them. Now, let's see how the mines do. Mines still very much an issue. So very, very much. Now, of course, Armor is going to change the game for PvP. But if we have a look at, let's look at Torrent, for example. If we have a little look-see at Torrent and we look at those rocket launchers, again, look at that. 63 minus. Are they going to do negative damage? And this Torrent does not have any trophy or statues, so that's not a good test. We will come back. Let's look at Rogue, for example, and just see maybe this one's got trophies. There we go. So this one actually has building damage, and look at that. So 63 minus 88 yet again. So feels like maybe those building damage boosts are not being applied properly. That might just be an absolute game-breaking bug, perhaps? I don't know. Something's weird here. Let's just see if we can't walk our troops in front of a rocket launcher, shall we? Okay, let's do Torrent, just because why the heck not? And Torrent probably has statues. They're back there. I'm a dum-dum. Got it. Okay, so let's just bring some troops over into this neighborhood. There are damage amplifiers, so that is a great place to test. You know what? Let's test back here first, because that rocket launcher does not have a damage amplifier, and let's just see how that armor is going to work out. Nobody cares. Look at this. Not a care in the world. 0 damage per second rockets. Yeah, I think that's a bug. That is going to be something I'm going to reach out to the devs about right now, because we've clearly got a damage statue back there. On the plus side, though, as we just, you know what, let's just sit right here. Can we walk up to here? Let's just see if we can't walk up and see. That Doom Cannon needs to be shocked, because it's going to take away some troops most definitely. Are the critter launchers going to take away some troops? Yep, they sure are. So, armor. Just do not sleep on armor. I don't know if I don't fully understand it, or if, though it feels like if we have a look here, we're looking at 207%, which is not being applied to the rocket launchers. Specifically the rocket launchers more than anything else. I'm not sure if it's because they're underneath. And look at that. Same thing with those flamethrowers. How are we getting negative 666? The math seems to be a problem on this update. I will be reaching out to the devs right this second. And again, it's not game breaking yet because of the fact that no one's going to have a max level engraver, but it will be very, very soon. zmot finds more bugs in Boom Beach on the dev build. I gotta tell you, it's not the first time. Okay, then back. Man, my brain just melted a little bit. Leech, of course your troops are going to get a little bit of health. That is a good one. And then the ones that I don't really care about that might be good, Rally, Insulation, and Alchemy. Now, Alchemy, I don't understand this one at all. This one makes zero sense to me. The Engraver is for HQ 27 players. Balancing your loot at HQ 27... If this was available to low-level players, sure, Alchemy would be useful, but where it's at right now, I think this one is completely useless and needs to be revamped. Again, I could be wrong. This might turn out in the first couple weeks to be super popular and players love it, but at the moment, I just can't see it happening. And then into Insulation and Rally. So Insulation is right there, reduces the duration of inhibiting effects, such as stun and freeze. Maybe that's useful for the Mega Crab when there's cryo bombs or shock launchers, but on its own, I just don't see how that's going to be useful. And then finally, Rally. Where did Rally go? Rally is right next to it, and that is boosts your remaining unit speed by 0.6 every time you lose one. That just means it's going to be harder and harder to control your troops as you start to lose troops. So I just don't see the benefit of that one. Finally, back to rank C, we've got Ordnance, and increases damage for barrage and artilleries by 30%. Good, but I would way rather get more GBE back from Power Surge, for example, or not lose troops thanks to armor, or get troops back that I have lost. So now that we've gone over the actual engravings, I'm going to bump my engraver all the way back. And now that we've got our engraver at level 1, or at the very beginning, I guess you could say, all of our engravings are locked. And this is where I fully agree. This is going to be an expensive upgrade to get these things going. So unfortunately, I can't. What we're going to do is I'm going to start all of these, and then I'm going to remove all of these tokens down in the bottom right, because sadly I can't give myself shards and then not give myself those engraving tokens. So we are going to finish off these things right here. Need to give myself some diamonds first. Man, the dev build is so great for this stuff. Now we're going to speed it up. We're going to spend all of those diamonds, and now as we claim it, you'll see that we start to get those roulette wheel goodness. We have gotten a token. That is the first time I've gotten a research token ever, which just goes to show when you get to 999 of these tokens, you just only get the green arrow. So now we go back to engravings, and I can then, can I spend it on here? Can we get this a little bit better? How do we spend those tokens? To improve your engravings. Can we improve it right now? Nope, we need 200 of those tokens. So that is not a great amount at the second, knowing that we need to get 200 of those. And maybe that is partially because of the fact that my dev build, I had them maxed. You know what? I'm just going to not deal with this weirdness, because I think maybe the fact that it costs 200 is because of the fact that I had them at maxed and then I brought them down, and you can see here that our quality is at 21 out of 7, so something weird is going on there. And just like that, we have got a brand new account, and we are going to get some more research done, and because we're on the dev build, we're just going to start all of these. And then after some internet tomfoolery, we've gotten everything back. We've got 0 shards, lots of diamonds, and 0 of those engraving tokens. So we are going to speed these up one at a time, and we are just going to figure out what we get. We get alchemy to start with, and I don't know how it's going to order. The fact that we've got alchemy both times, I'm wondering if we're just going to get that left one. If we can choose which one we get, that is what I don't know. So you know what? Let's cancel. Let's stop, cancel, stop, cancel, stop. Now, let's see if we can come over here and choose what we can research. Let's click on armor. Let's click research. So armor, where are you at, armor? Armor is right about there. And armor tells us we need to spend blue shards to get that one. And it says you have to have a chance to get it with blue. So I don't think we're going to be able to just select armor. We're going to have to go through and get these at random, which is going to mean it's going to take quite a bit of time. Let's speed that up with our diamonds. And sure enough, we did not get armor. So this is going to be one of those things where you're going to be dumping your resources into this. And let's just see if we can't get one of those build tokens or those research tokens with this roulette wheel of silliness. Come on. Let's see what we're going to get. Another plus. So it seems like in my testing, it's been all of those up arrows and basically nothing else. It is all up arrows except for the very, very few times that I've gotten the tokens. So I would not bank on getting tokens if I was you. Very, very rare, it seems like. And I'm not sure why I have so many shards. Oh, because I'm doing them one at a time. That's right. So as you can see here, doing them one at a time is way, way, way cheaper than doing them two at a time. The price goes up. You'll notice now it's at 15. So we're going to speed that up. Probably better off spending your diamonds to speed them up rather than doing two at once. Again, it all depends how... Oh, there we go. Come on. This roulette wheel of silliness is going to be painful, painful, painful. Come on, give us. You're not doing it, are you? Now, what I want to test is I'm just going to keep doing this until I actually get one of those tokens. And then you know what? I'm just going to fill my tokens. Forget this business. Come on. We're going to give it one last shot on the roulette wheel. We've put it all on red. And sure enough, it comes back as double zeros. So what I wanted to check and prove and test and all the rest is we can improve ordnance. It's only 10 of those things, but as you saw, 10 are very, very difficult to find. But you can't upgrade them. You can't spend those tokens to unlock them. You have to actually have researched them before you can upgrade them. So even though I want armor a lot, and I would put all 999 of my tokens towards armor, I need to keep throwing blue shards and clicking up refresh. And there we go. We finally got armor. We're up to level 1, 56 out of 450. And now again, getting that quality increase. And getting the quality increase isn't so bad, but those tokens mean that even if we roll Sabotage, we can spend the tokens to upgrade our armor. And as you can see here, it is quite expensive. It's going to be a lot of tokens, especially if you're getting one of these at a time. It's going to be a long while to get that up in level. And then you notice here that we still are only at level 1. So yes, we have improved the quality, but we still need to research a lot of armor. So I am not the one to do the math on this at the second. And there's an interesting detail. You don't have to wait for it to spin. You just start it and then you click on it and there's your answer. So that just saved everyone like 46 seconds. But you can see here, we are not getting any of those tokens. So I'm not sure if they need to balance those tokens or if those tokens are supposed to be super, super rare. But bottom line, it's going to cost you a lot of shards just to get your engravings maxed up. Now, on the plus side, for me anyways, on my regular account, you'll notice that I've got thousands of shards. So for players like me who have multiple accounts or just don't care enough about their sculptor, this engraver is going to be amazing. Yes, it's going to be a waste of powder, but it's going to be great. Now, one thing that really surprises me is the fact that you can't convert from powder back to fragment or shards. You can't convert from crystals back to shards. So if you don't have a gluttony of shards like I do, you're going to have to play some Mega Crab. You're going to have to clear some bases, and all of a sudden shards are going to be important to you. So I guess my laziness paid off in this case. Anyways, that is all I've got for you in this version of Engravings Deep Dives. I have reached out to the team, pointed out that armor bug, but as you just saw in the last little bit, it's going to be a heck of a long time before anyone has their armor at a high enough level, and so the team will have it fixed before it's an issue. I have no concerns about that. It might even be fixed before the update comes out, but just wanted to do a deep dive. I will post this rank board right about here on the internet so you guys can make your own. I'd spent a bunch of work to get those images built up so that you can rank them. Send me your rankings of these things once you've gone through the details. Would love to hear them. Otherwise, keep diving with that submarine, keep booming those beaches, and more importantly, hit me up in the comments. I'm zmot. Thank you for coming in. Peace.